The sound of footsteps cut through the silence, and I spun toward the door. My heart seized, and dread settled low in my gut when I saw Kiernan standing in the doorway. His face was a mask of fury. His jaw clenched so tight the muscle jumped beneath his skin. Every line of his body radiated anger. This was his room, his cross, his bench, his collars. Kiernan was the one who used these implements, who strapped people down and made them beg. "What the fuck are you doing in here?" His words were quiet, controlled, and more terrifying for it. When I opened my mouth to respond, nothing came out. I was standing in his dungeon with an obvious erection. There was no explanation that would make this acceptable. Kiernan stepped into the room, and the door swung shut behind him. He stalked over to me like a predator closing on prey, every step measured and deliberate. He walked like a man who knew exactly what he was capable of and had spent years learning how to wield it. I backed up until my shoulders hit the cabinet, rattling the glass. Kiernan kept coming. He stopped inches away, near enough that his heat bled into my space and his breath ghosted across my face. If either of us swayed forward, we would be touching. His pupils had blown wide despite the fury on his face. Whatever he was feeling, it wasn't only anger. "I asked you a question." I couldn't sleep. The words came out unsteady. "I was walking. I didn't know this was here." He raised a brow. "You didn't know?" "No." His focus swept down my body with deliberate slowness, lingering on my chest, my stomach, then drifting lower. It landed on my erection and stayed there long enough that fire spread up my face and down my neck. I should have been humiliated, should have wanted to disappear. Instead, part of me wanted to drop to my knees. When our gazes locked again, I couldn't read what I saw there. No one moved, but my pulse pounded in my ears. He took a step back. "You don't belong in here." I pushed off the cabinet, but my legs were shaky. When I reached out to steady myself, Kiernan grabbed my arm. "Return to your room. Forget what you saw." A sound escaped me that might have been a laugh had it not been so strangled. "Forget?" "That's what I said." "Yes, sir." The words slipped out. I had no idea where they'd come from or why my voice sounded quiet and calm, nothing like the chaos ricocheting through my skull. Kiernan's expression flickered, and for a split second, I saw hunger. It was gone as quickly as it had come. I didn't wait. I jerked my arm loose, then skirted around him and left. I made it halfway down the corridor before my legs gave out again, forcing me to catch myself against the wall. I pressed my forehead to the cold stone, my lungs seizing while my heart raced and my hands shook. What the hell had just happened? I'd discovered that my host kept a sex dungeon in his castle. That was strange enough, but the rest of it, my body's response, the images that had rushed through me when I saw the cross, and how I'd looked at Kiernan when he stood inches away from me, close enough to touch, was worse. I couldn't explain it or even reconcile it in my own mind. My words echoed. "Yes, sir," I'd said. "Why?" And why it had felt so right. I shoved away from the wall, needing to get as far away from this wing as I could. I needed Ophelia. The thought crystallized with sudden clarity. Her warmth, her steadiness, the familiar comfort of wanting someone I understood how to want, to touch her and be touched. I reached our suite and walked over to her door, raising my fist to knock before I lost my nerve. Every second stretched into an eternity as I waited for it to open. When it did, Ophelia stood before me in a silk nightgown that skimmed her thighs. Her eyes widened with surprise. Oliver? What's wrong? I stepped forward and fell into her arms when she opened them to me. I buried my face in her neck and breathed her scent. When her arms came around me, some of the chaos quieted. Then desire flared again. I found her mouth with mine and kissed her. It was gentle, then desperate and devouring. I poured all the confusion and terror and want of the past hour into it. She gasped against my lips, and I swallowed the sound, pressing forward, walking us further into her room. Oliver, I need you. Please, Vi. She searched my face in the darkness. I didn't know what she saw there, but whatever it was made her pull me down for another kiss. This time, her urgency matched mine. Her fingers fisted in my hair, and she pressed her body to mine with an abandon that set my blood on fire. I pushed her against the wall and slid my hands beneath the silk of her nightgown. We tore at each other. Her fingers yanked at my shirt, and her nails scraped across my chest. My mouth found her throat, her collarbone, her breast, biting, then soothing. She gasped and writhed, and her leg hooked around my hip to pull me closer. The kiss turned almost angry. Months of denial, and now this raw collision of want and confusion and need. I hiked her nightgown higher. Her thighs were bare beneath my palms when my hand slid between her legs. She was wet, slick and hot and ready, and the moan that escaped her throat was raw with need. I groaned into her mouth and slid my fingers through her folds, feeling her body welcome me. Yes, she gasped. Oliver, yes. We were lost in the taste of each other. Her hands were everywhere, and I couldn't get close enough, couldn't touch enough of her, couldn't. The door opened behind us. We froze, then turned. Kiernan stood in the doorway, his eyes dark, and his voice low and absolute. Did I tell you to stop?